Hello my dear children. Today we discuss about recursive function, or you also can say recursion function. What is recursive function? When a function calling itself continuously. It keep on calling itself, but it have a base where it will be stopped. And one more point is there for recursive function is that it split the bigger problem into a smaller one. Smaller means big problem it will split into a smaller. For that purpose only the recursive function is using. Now let's see. Recursive function, when a function call itself continuously. A function calling itself continuously. See one example, void ABC. Again it calling the same function ABC continuously, and it will go on till infinity. It keep calling itself. Where it will stop? It must have a base case for stop at some point. It split a bigger problem into smaller problem. It split the bigger problem into smaller. And here one example is there using a recursive function. What we are doing here? Factorial. So you have to write the package name, import java.util scanner class we are using. Our class name, what was that? Factorial. And I have given one comments. What was that? Recursive function to find factorial. Now we had made one function name fact, and passing the value, that was int n. Then we have opened the curly bracket if n equal to 0. For factorial we are using the loop for I is equal to 0, I less than, but we are using here we are doing the recursive function, so you have to use if n equal to 0, then return n. Suppose we have entered one number 5. If 5 we have to 5 factorial, what was that? 5 into 4 into 3 into 1. So 5 equal to 0, then return 1. Now we come to the else part. Here see that return n into fact n minus 1. Earlier I said that 5 we are using. If 5 factorial you suppose enter the number and that 5 we have entered. So 5 factorial will be 5 into 4 into 3 into 1. If 5 has split into, if 5 factorial we have split, so what will come? 4. 5 into 4. And 4 we have split, what will come? 3 into 2 factorials. And 2 will be split 2 into 1 factorial. At the last what will come? 1. And 1 factorial is what? 1 only. And the same, and if for this one formula is, we have to generalize one formula. And what was the formula? N into n minus 1 factorial. And that same formula we are applying here. N into fact n minus 1. Now our value, what was that? 5. And we are calling the function fact. N minus 1 means 5 minus 1. What it will give you? 4. Again the 4 is passing to say here. And say and again function is calling. Now what was that? 4 minus 1. What it will give you? 3. Then again the same function is passing its value and function is calling. What was that? 3 minus 1. What it will give you? 2. Same again is going. At the last we will get the 1. And what is the 1 factorial? 1 only. So we will get the factorial. Now we had to invoke a function. Public static void main string you had to write, open the curly bracket, factorial, our class name, what was that? Factorial obj equal to new factorial. Then scanner class you had to do, and you had to enter a number. Then after that we had to call the which function? Recursive function we had to call here. So I given the comments calling the recursive function because, and what had to print? System.out.print factorial plus obj.fact. And open the bracket here to write what? N. So in this way you can do the recursive function. Then the main thing is that in recursive function that the bigger problem are split into smaller. And it keep on calling itself continuously. But it will be stopped where it has a base. Base should be there for the stopping point. So it must have a base. Then must stop at some point. Now we come to our theory part only. Just have to see the theory only that. What was that? Static binding and dynamic binding. In case of static binding, a type of object is determined at a compile time. In static binding, what the object is determined at where? Compile time. In dynamic binding, the object is determined at run time. This is the difference of, and see the difference between these two. Here class name, what was the dog? Here class name animal. Private void walk, we have taken void walk. Here to print dog is walking. Here animal is walking. Then again we have to invoke it. Public static void main. String args here to write. Here what here to write? Class dog extend animal. Then dog d1 new dog here to write here. Here void walk. Then dot d1 dot walk. Just here to write. And after that here see the output. Output here. This is our output. Here dog is walking and here what was that? Class dog extend animal. So here object is determined where? In runtime, and here object is determined in where? Compile time. This is the difference between static and dynamic binding. And one more theory part is there, what we call method function signature or function prototype. Both are same. You can also call as a function signature or function prototype. See, we have to write here SS specifier, return type, function name and parameter list. SS specifier what will come? Public, private, default, protected. And return time what will come? Void, double, int, boolean, long, character. Function name, you have to give the variable. Then you have to give the function name and parameter list. Here so you have to write public void multiply. What have to do? Multiply. In the parameter list we are given two variable int a and int b. Then open the curly bracket, int c is equal to a into b, and you have to print the c. This we call what we call function signature or function prototype. This we are doing in a public. Suppose you have to write in a private. How will write in a private? Private int sum you have to write. Private int sum. What sum you have to do? Int a is equal to 5, int b is equal to 6. Then you have to write return a plus b. This we have to do in a private and this you have to do in a public. So this is our function theory. Our function theory is over. Now next we will study the program from textbook. Hope you have understood, my dear children. If you are finding any difficulty in the theory part, just revise it or go through the video. Thank you, my dear children.